Hello and thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com. We're proud to be one of the most successful technical analysis communities online, teaching you the skills to become a more confident, effective, and informed trader. Join our community of hundreds of analysts worldwide working together to learn the charts, generate profit, and achieve financial independence. For access to daily live chart analysis and market coverage, a thriving chat community, along with dozens of hours of exclusive educational materials. We look forward to seeing you. Let's check out some charts. Hey there, MJ friends, checking in on both the Canadian and the US MJ sector. So Canada was trading yesterday, and for the most part, everybody was up across the board on a very bullish day, as the S&P 500 futures were up at that point in time as well. We gap up to open in the market today, and profit taking across the board in pretty much the strongest names, even blue sky breakout names like NVDA and the tech sector, profit taking day in large part. So if I wanted to see more detailed information, I can be looking at the Canadian tickers because there will be price levels from yesterday's action that are potentially relevant. With the current setup, I don't feel the need to be using the Canadian tickers. There's not really enough going on that I feel like I'm missing anything by only looking at the USMJ or at the US tickers, the tickers that have more volume. So for CGC, definitely a gap up into profit taking. We closed fairly weak as the S&P 500 sold off a little bit into the end of the day. Supports 1985 and then a gap to fill 1948. And if we break the low of today tomorrow, we will lose the pattern of a higher low every day for the last 7 days. And we will then be looking for a healthy daily higher low to form as we look towards earnings in the near term. So just looking for a daily higher low. The weekly trend has changed for the bulls, but again, monthly time frame, big picture, we are in a downtrend. We will be full steam ahead for the bulls when we are in a monthly, weekly, and daily uptrend, but until that happens, we have to constantly remind ourselves we are in a monthly downtrend at this point in time in most names in this sector. So short term, we'll be watching for a daily higher low to form on a bear break. I will be interested in the first hourly oversold conditions on any pullback, but keeping in mind that earnings are approaching, we might not see that happen. TLRY is still continuing its strength. Break of 1060 was certainly bullish, and a lack of resistance after that is making it easy for the bulls to move. And again, the dollar volume tells you there are major players on this name. $350 million traded today is not just retail money, and the bulls can turn on the jets like this. Look at this move, and this is potentially in reaction. Shout out to Mr. F for pointing out the potential reaction to the headline that Governor Cuomo of, is it Como or Cuomo? Because I don't watch TV, I don't hear people pronounce things, I just read their names. Anyways, he's meeting with Trump, and people are hoping maybe he's going to talk about MJ. So I personally don't hold a lot of hope there. You know, if is Trump really going to tackle a lead Democrat policy with a lead Democrat governor right before the election? I don't think so, but anything's possible. Wilder things have happened. So TLRY did see profit taking into the end of the day, and on the hourly time frame, we're going to be looking for a higher low, anything above 980. When we do top out on this move, we'll just be looking for a daily higher low here as well. Again, bigger picture, not even going to pull it up. Monthly lower high is the most likely result of this entire bounce. CRON topping out. So CRON on the hourly time frame. Consolidation in the morning, lower high in the afternoon. Bears would have to break 639 to confirm an hourly downtrend and confirm daily consolidation. We would then look for a daily higher low compared to 536. And again, keeping in mind the major Canadian MJ names are likely going to react to CGC earnings. ACB had an hourly tightening range, and essentially, I would say still holding. We held the low of yesterday by $1. Actually, the low of Friday. If we pull up the Canadian ticker, we can see it was a bear break. So here's an example where the Canadian ticker was good, useful info. Inside bar, bear break, which tells us our daily lower high has likely been set. So high, low of the pullback, lower high, and we'll be looking for a higher low compared to 1211. APHA stood out for some strength today. 430 key resistance, we broke it, but only by 3 pennies. So bulls do want a bit more follow through over that level. Hourly support, anything above 402 is an hourly higher low. And again, plenty of space for a daily higher low when this move does top out. OGI, daily bull flag confirmed, 176 resistance broke. but not a ton of follow through, not a very significant move. The weekly time frame is not close to changing any trends. And we did break one resistance level, but we need a weekly higher low and higher high to change the trend. So certainly a step behind the larger Canadian MJ names, which are already changing their weekly trends for the bulls. HEXO, going to do something similar to ACB in my opinion. High, low, looking for the lower high. And if we break 66 support, lower high will be set. And we'll then be looking for a higher low compared to 48 cents. So let's just look at it compared to ACB. Fairly similar, huge moves, bolt to the upside, big pullback. That's why we look for the equilibrium, and HEXO is in a similar spot. VFF bulls have had a great 2 days in a row and a significant gap up, and they held the gains. So we would have to break the low of today, tomorrow, to confirm an hourly downtrend, which means zoom out and look for a daily higher low. And again, after moves like this on the daily time frame, watch for the first hourly oversold conditions, because generally we see solid dip buying on first hourly oversold conditions after a significant daily bull move. Weekly time frame has changed the trend. Next major weekly resistance is 670, and we're up at 609 today. On to USMJ names, and IIPR is a little bit of a warning. IIPR had a bull move and broke the high of its COVID bounce top today, but look at after hours. Dilution news. So some companies that are a bit strapped for cash are going to use these bull moves to sell shares into. And if you are holding overnight, and if that headline comes out that there is dilution to raise funds, this is going to happen. So the potential risk overnight for names, again, names that are not flush with cash that risk dilution. So IIPR, we're going to look for daily consolidation to be underway. Still plenty of space for higher low, anything above 66.86, but news deflating the bull momentum. So Cureleaf, watching for a lower high compared to 676. So high, low of the pullback, significant drop. Anything under 676 is the lower high, and we'll be watching for the potential of a tightening range if we do set that lower high. And a break of 605, the low of today, would confirm that lower high has been set if that level were to break. We've been seeing recently, just in the past 2-3 days, the major names, Cureleaf, GTII, and TRUL, go sideways. They're not really seeing any major weakness. They pulled back. This was a pullback in reaction to earnings. But while the leaders have been pulling back, the laggards are seeing the dollar volume come in and make them run. So here is TCNNF with a double top at $14. The most important support is $12.08 for me. If we break $14, the move continues. If we lose support of $12.08, the daily uptrend will be lost and we have to zoom out for weekly consolidation. A little bit toppy here. Let's look at TRUL with the extra day of trading, see if we see anything different. It looks a little healthier. So that's why we want to be checking both names. That extra day of trading, a little bit healthier. It could still be a bull flag on this TRUL daily chart. But bulls have to break that double top of resistance on the US side of things. GTBIF, daily bull flag trying to confirm. 993 needs to break. After that, we're looking up at 1050 as the next most important resistance level. Daily higher low clearly set at 890. Overall, still keeping the strength and still a lead bull. Keeping in mind, GTII took over the technical lead bull scenario in the USMJ space over TRUL with its 2-week move recently. CWeb has been seeing a short squeeze, and it's very impressive. Again, a laggard move sideways. Other names were breaking out. The sector was seeing hype. And then over the last 3 trading days, 4 days including Canada, CWeb exploded. And shout out to member Steph, who pointed out that this is a move that is being magnified by a short squeeze because there's shorts that are arbitraging the deal with, I forget, ACBS. Is that who the company is? There's a deal pending, and there's an arbitrage opportunity similar to what we saw on CL and OH. If what I'm saying doesn't make any sense to you, that's a topic for you to Google and research. Arbitrage and companies merging or buying each other out. And I'm not going to go into in-depth explanation here, but that is a reason for this short squeeze to take place. So a significant move here as well. weekly trend, you can consider it changed. But again, this was one of the weaker names in the USMJ space. We are absolutely looking for a monthly lower high to form on this bounce. Hourly time frame, still strong, still holding the uptrend. When I'm looking at the hourly chart, I do want to use the Canadian ticker because there is more trading information. If we lose the hourly uptrend, we'll zoom out and look for a daily high or low, but the hourly uptrend is still intact for now. So I entered, I was swinging first USMJ trades in many months, but I swung CRLBF and HRVSF Friday, bought in Friday, and sold this morning. Why did I buy in? Because they were cup and handle patterns, and I was looking for them to be laggards to the MJ hype that we were seeing. Left side of resistance, right side, it's not as good here. The Canadian ticker was the reason. The chart. So 671 resistance. There's our cup. We topped out at 663, so a lower high, unable to break resistance. Bull flag of consolidation. And I entered on Friday and sold this morning. So breaking resistance. And again, it just seemed to me, I was watching the sector. I gave the bulls a chance the first 30, 60 minutes of the day. It just seemed like a profit-taking day to me. And I like those gains, and I do not like the liquidity in the USMJ space at all. My trading style right now is scalp trading larger positions in very liquid names like Tesla or QQQ or big stock market names. So to go from that being my everyday grind to trading USMJ tickers with wider bid and ask spreads, market orders not filling in a timely fashion. You know, I market sell Tesla, I'm out in a second and I get a good fill. If I market sell some of these names, they take a while for the orders to fill. It's a different game. So I'm much less comfortable. So just locking in short-term profit. It was a nice couple day maker on both of these names, but seeing a little bit of weakness. Most important support for CL will be the daily high or low of $6, and not the kind of, you know, big major bull move that would have been ideal, and an upper wicket profit taking. It was the same thing on HRVSF. 160, failed to break resistance, bull flag, and then our bull break. And again, it looks stronger and healthier on the Canadian ticker, but a gap up this morning for profit taking, and I was part of that profit taking, and the bulls now need to hold 183 for a daily high or low to form. ITHUF, so even our weakest names that we stopped looking at long ago, breaking resistance. Let's look at IAN. The bull break here was getting over 35. As soon as you clear 35, there is no resistance to 63. So we went from 35 up to 51 very quickly. That's a 40% move in one day. Daily inside bar today as the range tightens up. If it breaks bearish, we're going to look for a daily high or low to form. This is the kind of move where I personally would be in and out. Give me my profit. Nice bull move, but not wanting to be in the weakest names for anything more than short-term moves to lock in profit. If the bulls do see continuation after 51, again, no resistance to 63, and MedMen was fairly similar. 21 and 25 were resistance. We cleared those levels. Big bull volume pouring in. 39.25 is a next resistance level. And again, it's just laggard action. I mean, we saw bull moves in our 3 leaders in the USMJ space long ago. We saw hype enter the Canadian MJ space and the COVID headline over the last couple weeks. And then we saw our weakest of the weakest names start to see some of that love as well in a delayed fashion, but better late than never. And certainly percentage gains notable because of how weak we had been leading up into this move. So that's where we stand. We'll have to keep an eye on headlines, expecting the bulls to do everything that they can to squeeze as much bull momentum out of this move as they can. So keep an eye on any headlines. We know New York wants to legalize. We know Pennsylvania is starting to mull it around. If New York and Pennsylvania legalize in the U.S., that is something like, forget the data, maybe 84% of the Canadian population in those 2 states. So there was a headline 5 months ago that those 2 states in Connecticut, those 2 states and New Jersey were working together to try and formulate a universal plan between their states, but New York certainly having trouble legalizing, and that's that. Protect those profits, and we'll see how long this bull move can keep going. It'll be very interesting to see how does dip buying on daily higher lows. How aggressive are the bulls? How significant is the consolidation? Remember what I said on ACB? What will be more impressive to me than this short squeeze would be a daily trend change. And right now we don't have that. We have our equilibrium, which is not surprising, which with the size of these ranges, how this equilibrium breaks is going to mean a lot to me for the sector as a whole. If we tighten up and then break bull, we know we're not done yet. There's still momentum juice in the tank and still profit for the bulls to be had. So I hope you had a good long weekend. Congrats to the Canadians that enjoyed that simple green day yesterday. If only every day could be that simple. And we'll see you soon. Do good things. This is a family of about 6 birds, and their nest is in a bush outside my bedroom window. And the babies are all flying around and they vibrate when they want some food, and the mom and dad will still chew up the seeds and give it to the babies. The babies will pick up the sunflower seeds and have no idea what to do with them. But they are so noisy. It's great. Constant chirping and vibrating. And there's always this one that stays behind while the herd flies off. They're a little gang in the yard now. Baby bird crew is back, and we got a mama cardinal caught up in the middle of it. She's holding her ground. She's very patient. Got some more baby bird action, different species. That's mom.